Hello, my dear friends. Short interview. I hope you enjoyed the title, God and Semantics. As an independent Franciscan who is a Catholic Christian but living a simple life, unlike the life I lived as a Catholic nursing monk, today so many of us get so het up, don't we, on interfaith, interreligious, interspiritual, and really they're only words. I don't come from an academic background. I come from a heart-centered background, hands-on in fact, because when I entered the monastery at 16 in 1966, I entered with a view to being a missionary in Africa, a missionary monk, a nursing monk. And we didn't have any debates on interfaith, interspirituality, because it really didn't kick off then. And now, as I'm older, hopefully a little bit more wiser, I'm very aware that the Teo community that Francis and Jesus asked us to set up back in 2006 to embrace all faiths, I never really fully understood, because I've never been one to oppose any faith. In fact, I'm pro all faiths, because I have a great difficulty praying for Christian unity, because I know within the Christian family there's great division, but equally within the whole family of God there's an even bigger division, where Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, Sikhs, we sort of tolerate one another at boardroom level, but when it comes to rubbing shoulders together and working together, there's that innate fear that we might be converted or contaminated. That's not my view, but that's the view I've experienced from many, many people who've come to stay here at our little monastery. And yes, the Teo community was really brought together proper in April 2008 when Francis at his tomb spoke to my heart, and I know that Jesus was in that too. And it wasn't to set up a new religion. It was for me as a Catholic Christian to reach out to all faiths and invite them to come together in love and to share that love of the one God, but to do it in a profoundly beautiful way by consecrating their lives in divine service as a lay monastic, where brothers and sisters who are Christian, Jew, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Baha'in can come together 3 times a day and sing the praises, their chants, their worship, share their liturgy, share their love of God with one another, and become a magnet for the divine to touch lives. I've been emailing our brother Tom in America, and he's been replying back with some really helpful information, because I've not trained in interfaith. I am not an interfaith ordained minister. I am an ordained, solemnly professed Catholic Christian Franciscan monk who embraces all faiths. In fact, in our community, though at present the majority of our members are committed Christians, and yet the Christian Church don't want to know anything about us. But our community is open to brothers and sisters who are not Christian, and that we come together in love as a child of one God. Because it's my belief, and I endorse everything that Brother Tom has said. He said interfaith services and dialogue has always been among the Jewish, Protestant and Catholics. Interspiritual, as espoused by our beloved brother Wayne Teasdale, whom I love dearly, and his work in the mystic heart, is a more heart-based knowing that at their very core, each wisdom, tradition, Islam, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Native Baha'i, Zoroastrian, have a very similar message, don't they? And Brother Tom concludes, one can have an interspiritual outlook while still maintaining a Christian, Catholic or Jewish practice. And as a committed Catholic Christian, I don't buy into the dogma and the fear. That ruled my life, and it left me very vulnerable and fractured and hesitant on returning back to my God. But you know, I take great comfort from the words of G.K. Chesterton, and I need to share them with you. Chesterton got it right. When he was in Rome, he went to see the plaza, St. Peter's Plaza, and he looked at the pomp and splendor, having been inside the Vatican. But then he came out with something that really touched my heart. And so much so that it empowered me to have a love affair with God. And he said, amidst this pomp and splendor, where do I find the barefoot Galilean? And that says it all for me as the founder of the Teo community of St. Francis. A community set up by God, not to become an elitist group, not to replace the world religions, no. To become the beating heart of love, embracing all faiths, like Francis of Assisi, like Hildegard of Bingen, like Gandhi, Sri Chinmoy, all the great masters. And you know, we can learn from our mistakes, but I truly do believe that our historical woundedness has been aggravated by fundamentalist religious believers, where they refuse to forgive or forget, or both. So today, God is presenting us with a wonderful challenge. And it's an invitation to honor who we are. I am proud to be a Catholic Christian and to live a simple life in the footsteps of Francis, an eco-spiritual warrior. And I'm proud to have a love affair with my Jesus, the barefoot Galilean. And I love the great spiritual mystics like Teresa of Avila, little Therese of Lisieux, Gandhi, Buddha, Vishnu, Ganesh, Krishna. We have so much in common, and yet we can't see the wood for the trees because we're locked in that fear mindset. Oh, because it's not in the Bible, we mustn't do it. There's a lot that should be in the Bible that was withheld deliberately by the early Christian fathers. And some of that truth was found later in the Gospel of Thomas. And did you know that as a Catholic Christian, if we were to read the Gospel of Thomas, we would have been excommunicated from our church? But thankfully we're moving on and we're coming into a new millennium. We're coming into the dawn of Aquarius. And December 2012 is a significant time for us on a spiritual level. But are we willing to embrace that? Or are we going to stay stuck like the ostrich with our head in the sand, unwilling to listen to the voice of God? Yes, the Bible and the Quran and the scriptures, the Old Testament, the Talmud, they are all the Word of God. I have no doubt about that. But we have to come to our God in silence and in prayer and ask our loving Father, Mother God, in the presence of Gaia, Mother Earth, in the presence of all our great masters, what are you saying, God, to my heart? For me, I know what the barefoot Galilean is saying to me, and that is despite the rejection from within my own family, the Christian family, I hold fast to that inner truth. And it doesn't matter whether the Teo community is Christian, interfaith, interspiritual, interreligious. They're only words, semantics. What is important is that we are heart-centered, heart-based, rooted in the love of a selfless God. Pray for me. Namaste.